This is the Retirement Mentality channel. If this is your first time here, welcome to the channel. I'll tell you a little bit about it. This is a place where we talk about, mainly we talk about real estate investing, we talk about personal finance, we talk about reaching financial independence, a little bit about the FIRE movement if you're interested in that. I have personally reached financial independence through real estate investing, so that's the main focus of what I want to help you guys learn. So if those are topics that interest you, you have come to the right place, my friend. Welcome. Please consider hitting that subscribe button if you are new here and you have not subscribed yet. And if you're returning to the channel, thank you very much. That means hopefully that you found value in our previous videos. And if you find value in this video, please also hit that like button. It helps more people find the videos and find the channel. So with all that being said, I'm going to talk about 5 tips for you that I do when I remodel one of my vacation rentals. You have to dummy proof these things. People are on vacation and they don't think about putting their feet on the furniture or tearing things up. They're just there to have a good time. You got to have people who are going to want to party. You're going to have people that just don't care about your stuff. So there's certain steps that I do to try to prevent future problems and dummy proof everything. So I'm going to take you around and show you a couple of them. I'm actually living in this vacation rental right now because my house flooded during Hurricane Sally and I'm trying to put it back together. So I'm going to try to shoot around all of my personal mess that's in here. Maybe I can make it still look nice. But if you see piles of laundry and things, it's because I'm actually living in this vacation rental. Fortunate that I have extra houses I can stay in when bad things happen. But that's a different story. If you're curious about the flood that happened from Hurricane Sally, you can click up here. I'll put a link to that video. I've done a couple of videos showing the progress on that. But without further ado, you're here to learn 5 tips on remodeling a vacation rental property. So let's get into it right now. Okay, like I said, when you're putting a vacation rental together, you have to really dummy proof everything and you have to find ways to prevent people from tearing stuff up and to try to prevent problems, because then you got to get somebody over here to fix everything. So I'm going to bring you in here to the kitchen first. One thing that I like to do is I like to put these black granite composite sinks in. These things are super sturdy. The stainless steel sinks, I think they get dented. People leave silverware in there. Things tend to get rusty. So these are the best thing that I found for your kitchen if you're going to do a remodel. And the undermount is good because otherwise you get little pieces of crumbs. If you have an overmount sink that sticks over the top like this, that's an overmount. You get little crumbs and stuff in here all the time and it's harder for them to clean. So these clean up better. They're easier. Undermount granite composite sink is your best way to go. Here's another little tip. An extra little thing you can put in here. I had broccoli for dinner last night. I thought I cleaned this a little bit before I shot this video, but that helps prevent extra things from going down the sink. I have this sign here. This house, actually, I have this here to cover up because my cleaning person's personal cell phone number is on here, so I'm trying to cover that up. But this house is on a grinder pump, and if you put extra stuff down the sink, it gets in that grinder pump. It can stop it up. So I have signs all over the house to try to prevent people from doing that. I do not have a garbage disposal on the sink. I think if you have a garbage disposal on the sink, people will put more stuff down the sink and they already pour bacon grease and everything else down there. So you got to try to just ask them not to do those things and try to prevent them from putting as much stuff down there as you can. So that's number 1, the granite composite sink, and I'll throw the garbage disposal tip in there as a bonus. Okay, number 2. I do not put ice makers. Well, this came with an ice maker, I think. Yeah, there's an ice maker in there. But I do not hook the ice makers up. I leave trays of ice in here for people to use. Ice makers are one of those things that they always break when there's nobody in the house. They'll leak, and it could leak. Maybe this house sits empty for a week or two as a vacation rental, or even a month or two during the wintertime, and nobody's here checking on it. So if an ice maker starts to leak or drip, they can ruin flooring, they can ruin walls, they can cause way more problems. I rarely get complaints that there's not an ice maker in the property. Since COVID, everybody is more of a pain in the ass than they ever have been. So I did have one lady say, like, this is a luxury property. I can't believe you don't have an ice maker. And I was like, lady, it looks like a luxury property because I just remodeled everything, but it's smaller and it's not commanding a luxury price. So she wasn't paying extra money. This is kind of a bargain especially for how nice this is. So number 2, I never hook up my ice makers. Okay, Number 3 tip, I'm going to bring you back over to the sink. Another thing that goes wrong a lot are faucets and sprayer units. You'll notice there's not a sprayer on the sink. While I'm living here, I do notice that it is a little bit of a pain in the butt not to have a sprayer that comes off of here. But no matter how much you spend on the faucet, the sprayer, if it's one of those that sucks up to here or it pulls out to here, they always break, they always get loose, and they're always a problem. And it looks trashy when your nozzle is got an inch of hose hanging down and it's flopping around down here. So sprayers are another thing that always break. I don't put them in my vacation rentals. They just get beat up too much. It's not that hard to clean the sink without it. So that's another tip for you. Something that always breaks are sprayer units. If you have the one that goes here, I think they're less likely to break. But I don't put them in my units at all. So no sprayer units, no garbage disposal, and no ice maker. Okay, tip number 4 when you're remodeling a vacation rental is don't worry about space as much as you do in a normal remodel. In a normal remodel, you're thinking about closet space, you're thinking about kitchen space, you're thinking about bathroom storage. So in this bathroom, this is just a half bath guest bathroom, and this area is a weird size in here, so I was gonna have to get a specialty made custom made vanity to fit in here, unless I was going to have some kind of a weird gap on each side, which then people are going to drop their toothbrush down there and their prescription medicine. They're going to be calling me in the middle of the night because their heart pills are down there. So instead of having problems with gaps or paying tons of money for a custom vanity, I just went with this standalone sink because this is just a vacation rental and people don't need to store lots of stuff in here. And I put this sign here again to remind them not to put anything down the sinks and the toilets, because it's $300 every time they put one of those personal wipes down the toilet. It stops up the grinder pump and it costs $300 to have the guy come over here. So that's tip number 4. Don't worry that much about space in the vacation rental. The only caveat that I'll give you, a pro tip here, if you're uncertain how successful the property is going to be as a vacation rental and you need an exit strategy, and the exit strategy is selling the property, you may want to think a little bit more about space, because if you need a potential buyer to come here, they may be more concerned about bathroom storage and closet space. So keep that in the back of your mind if you think you're going to sell it. If I was ever to sell this property, the person who's going to buy it is 9 times out of 10 going to make it a vacation rental, also because I'm just 1 block to the beach and I own the one next door. It's also a vacation rental, but this whole area is full of vacation rentals. So that's what this area caters to. So I'm not concerned about a first-time home buyer coming in to buy this property. It's going to be an investor. Okay, tip number 5. I'm going to take you upstairs to the full bath and show you a tip up here. I actually just watched a video the other day about a guy who said not to do this in rental properties, but I disagree with him. Most people don't go all the way to the ceiling with the tile. They stop right about at that line right there, and then they leave this just drywalled, and then most people stop their tile at the tub right here and at the tub right. But again, this is all about dummy proofing everything. People splash water, they don't take care of things. You might have a guy who's 6'6" staying in here and his head is going to splash water on the drywall up. So I pay the extra money to tile all the way to the ceiling. It's not that much more money if you think about $3 a square foot for tile or $2 a square foot for tile, to have that all protected up there. And then I bring this out past the tub here, and I even, in this bathroom, I did this whole wall all the way around the sink. I did a floating vanity in here also. Like I said, I'm staying here, so excuse the mess a little bit. But I think it's worth the extra money to, this is an extra, 5 feet by 8, 5 times 8 is 30, an extra 30 square feet of tile. And it looks sharper and it protects everything. Now, this is all protected if people splash water here. It's all caulked in around the sink. So it's extra protection. It's more dummy proof. It looks better, and it didn't cost, it cost a couple $100 extra, but in the grand scheme of things, I think it's worth it. And most people tell you in a rental property to just put the plastic surround shower in here. It's way cheaper. But when you're in the vacation rental game, it's all about the pictures. This looks super classy in the pictures. I actually wanted to put the glass here instead of a shower curtain, but we just kind of got into some budget constraints by the time I finished this remodel project. So I just went with the shower curtain. It was like an $800 savings. But the extra money I spent on the surround sound for the tile, I think was worth it than just putting the plastic in there. Brand new, awesome tub. You know, I put also nice fixtures, and I also always replace the valves back there, even if you don't have to. It's just a good idea while you got the house torn apart. And while I'm in here, I just noticed one more thing that I'm going to tell you about. This a little bonus for you. Move my towel. Another thing that I always do, now it's echoey because I got the door closed, but instead of putting the store-bought towel racks in, people step out of the shower, they got wet feet or something, they're always going to grab onto these things, and they always rip out of the wall because they're in with anchor screws, they're not in a stud. So I make my own towel racks, and that way I make them long enough that I can go into 2 studs. And I've actually covered the nail holes in this one with these things. I did a really good job with this, actually. So that way, no one's ever going to pull it out of the wall. If you notice in other vacation rentals, there's always extra holes in the wall where these things have gotten ripped out. Mine never get ripped out because I make them myself and I put them into the studs with like 3-inch long deck screws. That thing's not going anywhere. So there is an extra pro tip. You thought you were only getting 5 tips, but you got 6. So that is some of my remodeling tips for your vacation rental. And I hope you liked this video. If you did, leave me a comment telling me you loved it. Tell me what you learned. Tell me you want more of this. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. And I'll have more content coming out for you soon. Thanks for watching.